There aren't many things better in football than a comeback victory away from home in injury time, and that's exactly what Newcastle did at Nottingham Forest on Friday night. A 2-1 win for Eddie Howe's men, and I am absolutely buzzing with that result because it means that this week we've taken 6 points in 5 days from Wolves and Nottingham Forest, and it has set us up so nicely for the run into the season now. We are in a position where we can truly fight for the top 4, and I'll get into that a little bit later on towards the end of the video. But let's just look at last night and how fantastic it was. Now, it wasn't a perfect performance. At times we weren't amazing, but we definitely deserved to win, and there were a lot of positives in that team last night. Elliot Anderson had a great performance in the second half. I'll come on to his disallowed goal in a bit as well. We looked pretty defensively solid as well, apart from Botman's mistake, which I'll come on to in a bit as well. But what I really wanted to highlight was Isak, because where else can you start with this match other than Alexander Isak? Because every good thing Newcastle United did went through him, pretty much, and he is just on another level. We have got an absolute gem, and he's not played that many games for us, but you can just tell he is just quality. The way he plays the game, it's not just about his scoring, it's not just about his finishing. It is his all-round play is amazing. It helps the team. He works hard. He can put a tackle in. He scares defenders when he can run at them. He can pass the ball, and of course he can finish. And his first goal that he scored was just an unbelievable finish, in the sense that the ball was basically behind him and he just improvised with the outside of his foot, swung his leg round and hit the bottom corner. Like, you cannot train that. That is just complete instinct and pure quality. So that was amazing. Obviously, that was the equalising goal because Botman had made a very uncharacteristic mistake. Like I said, he went to play the ball back towards Nick Pope and he just played it short, and the Nottingham Forest player got in the way, intercepted the ball, and then Botman sort of tracked back, got into position, but to be fair to the Forest player who scored, it was a good finish. He chipped it over Botman, and I think it was Trippier possibly coming in at the back post, but he chipped it over both of them into the net. It was a clever finish. It was undeserved at that point. Forest didn't deserve to be in the lead of that game, but that is football. At the end of the day, we have issues sometimes taking our chances, and again, we hit the bar twice in the first half as well, and it's just these kind of things that sometimes we don't score as many as we should. Willock had a really good opportunity as well, which he sort of blasted wide. It was a tricky chance, but you'd hope that we could maybe score that on some occasions, and at the moment we're just not scoring those types of goals at the moment. But thank goodness for Alexander Isak, because he did put it in the net for us, got us level, 1-1 at half time, and then the second half, as I said, wasn't always amazing, but there were two really big moments in the half. One was the really bad VAR decision, and we can talk about VAR all day long. At the end of the day, I do not know how they have come to the conclusion that that was offside under the current interpretation of what offside is. Gary Neville on Sky Sports even went through the rule, and he was bemused by it. And ultimately, it comes down to whether the Forest player was kind of intentionally playing the ball. Well, he was. So therefore, he shouldn't have been offside. It's a shame for Anderson because he scored. His header was fantastic. Again, Isak put the cross in because he was involved in everything. But Anderson's finish was smart. It was such a good header, one that Alan Shearer would have been proud of. And it's such a shame that that's been chalked off, and that's not his first Premier League goal for the club. So a real shame, a real controversial moment, and one that's probably going to dominate the news agenda over the weekend. But really, it's just another VAR decision that shouldn't have happened, and really we should have been 2-1 up at that point. The game then looked like it was kind of fizzling out in a sense. Both teams had some chances, and then towards the end we got a penalty for a handball. And what was fantastic was Kieran Trippier taking in all the abuse from the Nottingham Forest players who were trying to put him off. And then what did he do? Handed the ball to Alexander Isak, who stepped up and confidently put it into the net. And the scenes in the away end, just absolutely brilliant. I wish I was in the away end last night, because it looked fantastic. If you were in the away end last night, let me know what it was like, because from what it looked like on the TV, it just looked like one of those perfect evening matches where the atmosphere was fantastic. And you know, the word limbs is thrown around quite often, but it really was in the away end when that penalty went in. It looked amazing. It looked like a real joy to have been in that away end last night. So if you were lucky enough to have been there, let me know what it was like in the away end last night. It was just brilliant. I'm just so relieved that we've taken 6 points from these 2 games this week, because ultimately we needed to do that if we wanted to realistically have the chance in the run-in to stick with the top 4. Really, you know, there's a chance that 3rd and 4th are up for grabs, where if we beat Man United, we go above them when we play them at St James's Park after the international break. So that game is now absolutely massive, even if it wasn't. I mean, it was already massive, but it's going to be even bigger now. So that's going to be an exciting one. Can we do it? I hope we do. We'll get into that nearer to the time on this channel, but it really does set us up nicely for the rest of the season now, and we can really, really push on and try and secure top 4. But if we can't get top 4, we should be able to, from this point, secure top 6. So unless something goes catastrophically wrong, fingers crossed for that. But yeah, what a joy. An away win, coming from behind, just brilliant. In injury time, there's just not many things better than that in football, and I was absolutely buzzing about it. Just fantastic.